In the first part of this video tutorial, we will look at DoDesign, a powerful design software that lets you create and customize graphical templates within the Building Edge editor. In this tutorial, you'll learn how the design helps you visually design, edit, and manage templates that bring your Building Edge projects to life. We will walk through the core tools, show you how to build templates from scratch, demonstrate best practices for creating clean, reusable graphics that integrate seamlessly with the Building Edge editor, and show you how to refine your workflow as needed. Let's get started. First, click Open. Click on your reference project. When downloaded from OpenBoss for PC or Building Edge, this will be contained within a zip file. Next, rename your project. This will copy the reference project for this particular exercise. We will call it AHU. Our aim will be to build a similar air handling unit as the one on screen. This AHU is based on an aspect project, which we will complete with all the dynamic points and animations. Before we start building our air handling unit, take a look at the Components library and the Image library. The Image library contains all the subcomponents of your graphical template, and the Components library is a library of your components or your graphical pages. To create a component, click on the plus symbol, then enter a name and description as required. When designing graphics, confirm the size of your monitor. In this case, 1920 by 1080. For this example, the best resolution is 1368 by 768. You can change the canvas size in the Component Properties section on the right of the screen. To start building, let's navigate back to the Image library. Drag the first central element onto the canvas and resize it according to the canvas size. Start with the ABBAbility background. When you insert the graphic, you will see a sub-canvas containing it, as well as its position and size. We will be focusing on the size and image size elements. Let's add the ABBAbility wheel next. As you can see, it has a different size. To ensure both graphics fit together, we will match its size to the ABBAbility background graphic. Scroll up in the Image library, then select Duct Large and drag it onto the canvas. As before, resize it manually so that it matches perfectly with the other components. From here, we can copy and paste the components to build all our ducts. The ducts use a ratio of 121 by 247, as shown on the right. Let's move on to adding elements for intakes, supplies, and exhausts. On screen is our full air handling unit with all the components that are available in the Image library. These components were added in the same way as the ABBAbility wheel in the previous section. Fans, with a size of 247 by 169, filters, with a size of 247 by 150, as well as heating coils, cooling coils, sensors, and dampers. Additionally, you can add labels from the Composition library. In the Component Properties, you can edit various parameters such as text, color, and size. Make sure that you keep the fixed size at 0 so that the text scales appropriately when zooming in and out. Now that we have configured all our graphical components, let's add some labels to display values. Go to the Components library and click on Controls. Click and drag a label component onto your canvas. We can modify this label as we wish, including its border style, background color, and font style. We can now copy and paste this label across the entire project graphic. You can also reuse previously created labels. To do this, click on the relevant AHU from the Component library, copy the label with Ctrl-C, and paste it in your current project with Ctrl-V. To see how those values will appear, click on any of the labels, go to Text, then type in some values. Let's go through some of them briefly before moving on. To change how the values in a label are displayed, access the text format field from Component Properties. As an example, if you select 0, it will show you only single digits. The last stage of your graphical design is to create and connect your fields or animations with point containers, which will then be connected with your values. To do this, click New in the Named Points window, then type in your data point. For this example, we will look at Intake Damper Status. Click OK. Next, we need to connect the value containers that will be connected in the BuildingPro editor with your label and your graphic. To animate the text, we need to drag the value into the component properties for the label. Because we want to display open and closed states for the damper, select the ranged option. Click OK, and you will now have new states. For this component, the two states will be open and closed. Type these into the Animations State field. If you click between them, you can see the label changing. We will do something similar for the graphic, but this time we want to animate an image. We will cover this in part 2 of this tutorial. That covers the first part of the DoDesign tutorial within the Building Edge application. For more information, please email globalsbs.support@abb.com. For part 2, please watch the video DoDesign, Graphical Tool for BuildingPro, Part 2.